Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome to Fuel Power and welcome to our very first social gathering event. We're here at the Army Flying Museum in Middle Wallop and this is the Fuel Power party.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce you to the fleet. So this is all of Fuel Power's cars. So obviously we have my bike, Lucille here, the BMW. We'll go around this way, Jake, we'll come back to the C5. So obviously Trixie the Caravan, which I think is a work of art. I really do. I think it's one of my favourite things. Just so popular, really. Look at it. And you two have done an amazing job. Truly, no joking aside, brilliant job. From when I first saw it, it's absolutely fantastic. Obviously the Mini, which didn't want to start this morning, did it? But
no, it's providing today's entertainment.
yes, it will be. We'll see if we can get it going later. In respect for Her Majesty. And I love this car. It's I owned a V-Reg Mini a few years ago. Got run over by a lorry whilst me and Sprout were sat in it. Another story. Pogo. I love this. Again, I like this car. It's sort of Jake introduced me to these this rare Panda, really, isn't it?
Panda 100 HP.
Yeah, 100 horsepower, 6-speed gearbox. Very rare, very cute car. Obviously the Fiat 500, which we all love and dear. Great little cars and quite a unique colour scheme to it. And I like the wheels as well. I'm not a fan of black wheels, but it just seems to work on this car, I think. So should we go look at the C5?
I think so.
I think so, because this is drawing the most attention at the moment. So for all you those people who are like me, remember this back in the 80s. When did it come out? 85 sort of time. Sir Ian Sinclair, a genius of his own time, invented the calculator and the digital watch. But as you can see, it's work in progress, admittingly. I am not even going to attempt to get into this because I've got these boots on. I don't think I'll get out again. But it was ahead of its time, and people would knock it. But you had a pedal option, didn't you? Pedal power and an electric motor from a washing machine.
Actually incorrect.
What was it from then?
Just one made for the C5.
Oh, I thought it was actually from a...
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's popular belief that it is a motor from a not from a C5, from a washing machine.
Okay.
But no, it was developed just for the C5.
Okay, so I learned...
These things are built in the Hot Point factory.
Ah, okay. So there's the confusion.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go. You learn something every day. So this is obviously work in progress, and you say you're going to get it back to original state, yeah?
As close to original as possible.
Possible. You can get the spares. But as a concept and a design, it's actually quite... I've never seen one before. This is the first one I've ever seen. So I was just quite interested in seeing it. And we said it was a lot flimsier than expected. But this is made of like that tough PTE plastic, isn't it? So obviously injection moulded. But and these wheels, can I lift it up, Jake?
Yeah.
So these wheels are original style wheels. Fantastic, look at that. So, oh, sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, look at that. So, yeah, amazing. I'm really into design and, yeah, I'm really interested in this sort of thing. But yeah, it's a good find, Jake.
So Fuel Power is naturally now a bit more of a team effort than when it started out 2 years ago. And some of the vehicles we've actually got here today, we've got the Super 73 owned by our good friend Matt Pink. So e-bike, quite powerful, very fun to ride around the yard, where he stores the Yugo, which is just there, but we'll get onto that in a bit more detail in a little moment. We got our own little shop going on with Genevieve organising, and on top of that my mum and friend are also just having something to eat because it is about lunchtime at this point. And this is probably one that's really quite popular here today, Gertie the A30 van. The A30 and A35 vehicles I was getting really massively confused, but there are some subtle differences between them. Probably one of the most notable, the engine's considerably larger on the A35. It's about 805cc on the A30 and about 948 on the A35. A35, slightly different style of grille. It's got like a horseshoe effect to it. This little bar, fun fact, I welded that for this vehicle, so there's my little contribution to it. And also the speedometer on the A30 compared to the A35. A35, 80 mile an hour tops, this 70 mile an hour. You can just about see it in there. But yeah, this one's done up like old school carpentry van basically. The owner of this is Genevieve's dad, and his dad was a carpenter before. He's also a carpenter. And he's done it to represent and honour his father, really. So it's a very nice little example. Wooden, typical wooden ladder as well for the era. As you can see there, extended fleet member Gertie.
Nice car, that.
Yeah, then we come on to Murray, the Land Rover Discovery Series 2. Quite a nice little number plate, I think. I like these.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've done a review on this already, so if you haven't already checked that out, please do. It's got a nice colour scheme to it. It's quite a rare colour on this. It's a colour that's, I think, available only on the Land Rover Special Vehicles, if memory serves correctly. I did film that back in February, and it is now August.
Wow.
Sorry, no, it's not even August anymore. Gosh, it's September. Where's the year going?
I know.
But yeah, we've got lovely little step-ups here. You've got roof rack. It's very tall. So, yeah.
There's something about a Land Rover of all sorts. You just sort of...
Yeah, I have a soft spot for them.
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah, got a massive soft spot for them.
My friend's selling a Defender if anybody wants one.
There we go then. You can have a Defender. But next to it, a bit smaller, and annoyingly only washed yesterday. And of course, the birds have already taken their aim at it. But Dacia Sandero from 2016. It's a Laureate spec, so top specs. Stepway as well. 1.5 diesel. So sorry, Lloyd Vehicle Consulting. We do talk about diesels on this channel though. Yeah, it's a great little car actually. I really quite like it. Back when my parents were looking at buying this, because this is my mum's car, I've done a few smaller videos on it. I helped her choose this car at the time because it sort of fitted her needs to exactly what she needed basically. Five seats, reasonable size boot, roof rack. What more can you need?
People shouldn't knock these cars, and I would have been, a while ago, I would have been the sort of person who would have knocked this car, but then I don't now because
they've proven themselves.
They've proven themselves. It's built to a cost, it's cheap motoring, and you know, it's easy to run. It's based on a Renault, isn't it?
Renault Clio Mark III this generation, yeah, the latest ones are actually based on the current Clio.
Yeah, so you're coming with stuff that isn't, you know, it's not shabby Eastern European sort of build. It's got, you know.
No. The funny thing is, if you look at it this way, the Sandero, that was at the time in obviously a lower spec than this, the cheapest car you could buy in the UK at the time.
Was it really?
If you compare that to say the Mini from several years ago, when that was at the time the cheapest car you could buy,
yeah,
this is so much better in every single way. I mean, uses Mark III Clio body underpinnings, but all the engine and all that gearbox, they're from the Clio Mark IV, so fairly modern stuff.
The latest ones, the restyle ones, are actually really good looking cars.
I really like the new one, yeah. But also on the Eastern European side of things, the Yugo Sana, yes, the one that's used to belong to Hubnut, who is also here just there with Bob the Camper and Bella the Berlingo, which is thankfully fixed now after her suspension issues. I'm noticing a bit of a pattern here with YouTube channels and French cars and suspension fading. But yes, currently massively a work in progress. Again, belongs to my good friend Matt Pink. He's looking to hopefully get the engine going on this at some point in the not too distant future. Recently actually found the keys in the engine bay attached to one of the cables. We also have gliders and planes and things here today, which is quite fun. But yes, being named as Hugo the Yuga. Well, Hugo the Yugo even. I can word, I can.
Again, not to show my age, back when these were on the road, I remember them all over the place and they just disappeared.
Again,
8 or something.
There's about 8 they know of. It doesn't mean there isn't any more, but that's how many they know of. But yes, Hugo, if he's open, which he is, very nice thing actually. The interior is really well kept for the age of this car. I don't think it's done that many miles, 33,720, so really not a lot.
No.
But
you can see a
good.
Bulgarian sort of general being ferried around in it.
The thing that's actually quite strong to me is the smell of this car. But yeah, as you can see through here, I won't open the boot of the car because it doesn't actually prop itself up at the minute. It's just sort of a bit of potluck. But I do like the way the window curves round. That's a really nice little detail.
I never noticed that.
It's quite similar to the Citroen ZX in style,
really?
But the ZX was after this, so bit of questions.
If you don't know, to make glass like that takes a little bit of effort.
It does. So it's nice to see that Yugo actually put the effort in to make that bit of stone. But the boot in this is actually really large.
Yeah.
I can see why these cars are popular. They were relatively cheap here in the UK when they were brand new.
Yeah.
And I think probably, is it safe to say on the internet, this is probably the most well-known Sana?
Probably. That's the big
Probably.
really, isn't it?
There's other ones that are known on social media like Twitter, Facebook, whatever. But I think this is the most well-known now on YouTube and the Twitterverse. Matt's also brought down a few examples of carcheology.
Yeah, you showed me earlier on.
He's got his "From Grot to Not" shirt, which seems to be a phrase that we've sort of coined to this car now.
Yeah.
So we've got all this stuff that we found in here, including about 37p, some NGK spark plugs, an alarm he's found since, speakers, chains, you name it, t-shirts, it's all there. It's good fun though.
Yeah.
I do like the blue stripe on that.
Yeah, makes it go a lot faster.
Adds about 5 HP.
It does.
Yeah. But moving on, got George the Austin Allegro, belongs to another YouTube channel, All Things Alex. He's come down here today in his 1300 Super.
I really like this.
In a typical 70s shade of brown.
And with a beige
Chocolate brown. I like it. I'm not quite sure what this key here is for. I might have to get him to explain that to me.
For the filler cap, maybe.
Is it?
I don't know.
It's quite a long way down. Anyway, nice little gold pinstripe down that.
But it was a genuine barn find, he was saying.
Yeah, it's a really nice example though. He's done a good job to it. I mean, you can see little bits of ongoing work, but
It doesn't matter, does it?
But as I've said before, I prefer to see a project out in the open that people can see than just locked away in a garage for
I think he said
no one to see.
It was last taxed in 1981. It's only got 3 tax this. Obviously, we don't have to tax for these age of cars or
No.
taxes now. But
No.
yeah.
So this is designed like I think it's a 1960s Lotus. It's not. It's a kit car. It's got a, as Carlos was telling me, a MG Midget engine.
An MG Midget with it, and I think the engine's been uprated.
But it's based on the. Well, no, actually, it isn't based. It is actually a Westfield car. So Westfield also make cars that look very, very similar to Caterhams.
Yeah,
So it's really nice. I like the colour of it.
I do. I think it's one of my favourite cars here.
Naturally, there's a lot of Lotuses of that era. I mean, obviously, I know this isn't, but it's styled to be, and many of them are green with like a yellow stripe. So I quite like the white door dots, and well, obviously it's not on the door, but you get the picture. Reminds me of my own Mini.
Yeah,
And that's a style I like.
I like the D-type fitting behind the seat. It's just so iconic of that era.
Yeah.
And it's so low. Go and stand next to Jake's here. How low it is.
For comparison.
Yeah.
I'm stood here for comparison, and you can just see the difference.
So it weighs. I think it said it weighs just over 600 kilos with 110 horsepower.
540 kilos.
540 kilos, so it's even faster.
It's quick enough.
Lightness. Lightness is key. The Lotus philosophy.
Exactly.
So over in the Yugo at the minute is Joseph Lloyd of Lloyd Vehicle Consulting. He's just having a quick look around the Sana. This is his car that he's brought along today, the Rover 45 V6. We featured this car quite a lot already on the channel. I've even done a walk around of it in 2020 even. That was a long time ago now. Actually fitted that for him at the time. So
And the car
that's...
hasn't caught fire yet.
No, the car has not caught fire yet, Carlos. No, it's actually in really good condition, this car, for the age. It's a connoisseur spec. Top of the range for the 45. It's got a V6 engine as well. A Rover developed V6, not one from BMW, as many seem to believe that it actually is. But no, I really like this car. I can't wait to actually give it a proper drive at some point. It's what I'm really quite excited about.
Okay.
But next to it, Seat Leon Tocker Edition. This is a car that belongs to my friend who's come down from Birmingham for this social. He's representing the channel quite considerably with various stickers on the back, including, but not limited to, fuel power sticker, that little one, and we've also got one of the fuel power party with Trixie on. So that looks nice. It's nice to see that you've got people representing. Yeah, again, another little car, quite like it. It's, he's only owned it about, I think, about 6 months now.
Great car.
Good little cars, this. So,
Based on a Polo.
yes, based on a Polo, and it's also shared with the Skoda Fabia.
Yep.
We've also got some people come here all the way from Wales. You may recognise them. And this is their camper, I guess. This is Bob the folding camper, and we do have permission to walk inside and have a little look around. So this sleeps about 4 and potentially even 6 people, because I've been told this sofa actually folds all the way in and out. It's really quite nicely designed, this. It weighs about 570 odd kilos, something like that, 540. That's unladen. Obviously, if you start putting stuff in, it gets a bit heavier than that.
It's very heavy when I come in here.
But yeah, sleeping accommodation just here. The seat, as I've mentioned already, fills in the space, and also that. But what I'm amazed about is, obviously, it's a folding camper. You expect there to be loads of room, but there's more than I expected.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's a lot of head height.
Yes, definitely.
It's quite quiet in here as well.
It is. It's well insulated, despite. I believe Ian was just telling me that it's got a brand new cover.
Okay.
So that's probably helping with that.
Yeah.
But no, it's really nice. I like Bob. I can see the appeal behind him. You got a stove, you got a sink, you got a little fridge,
All you need.
storage for days even in here. You got all this stuff here. Obviously, hub nut mug. Citroen Berlingo, known as Bella, recently had a significant failure, so we say. Rear suspension failure on this, torsion bar, exactly the same problem that my Renault has still got because I haven't got around to repairing it yet.
Burn it.
No, Carlos, I won't burn it. But because French, they've come down here and camping in Bob last night. And in all honesty, you can't really fault the Berlingo. It's a brilliant vehicle.
Yep.
You can carry many people in it. It's essentially a van, but you can carry things in.
Yeah, I think it's always been.
That sums up a van really well.
Yeah.
It's a van, you can carry things in it. It's really spacious, really big, and it's also, I'm told, pretty economical, even when towing the caravan or camper. Obviously, it folds in.
Yeah.
So it's a bit more trailer-like.
The thing is, there's nothing too fussy about it because if you look at the
No,
design,
it's simple.
square, and that makes it easier to stack stuff into.
It's simple, and you can see all the luggage through the back window.
Yeah.
Its practicality proves itself.
Correct.
But next to it, a car I've seen before. It's I think it was retrorised earlier this year, actually. This lovely little Fiat Cinquecento. Obviously, a bit of a precursor, I guess, to the Seicento and then the Panda. I like these a lot, especially the sporting version. But this one's really nicely done. Look at that interior, as Carlos is just having a look. The interior on this, very nice. I like the colour scheme on the seats, the Momo steering wheel, the tiny pedal box, that's adorable, the gear shift, handbrake, just everything. The seats are absolutely tiny, they're really thin.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, I would not mind having a Cinquecento at some point in my life, even giving one a spin.
Yeah, as well.
Yeah, maybe you should get one as your project. Yellow lights as well for the win. Millie's got those on today. At this end of the field then, we've got two vehicles on very opposite ends of the spectrum. A Honda CR-V, obviously a multi-purpose vehicle, can fit 5 people in. But then on the other end of the scale, Ferrari 458 Italia V8 engine, Pininfarina styling. Quite different. In fact, the owner of this actually, we had both sets of parents on marshalling duties at the start of the day because both myself and Genevieve were quite busy with various things. Me trying to sort the Mini and try to get it here, and Genevieve running the shop. So the owner of this car actually offered them a cup of tea, which is quite nice, from the cafe. So thanks to them for trying to look after our marshals.
Yes.
We've been trying as well, but obviously it's not always the easiest thing to go around, but we try and make time. But efforts like that is really appreciated, stuff like this.
Nice. I mean, these cars are not just engineered, they're works of art at the end of the day.
Yeah, I remember at the time when this was launched back in, I think it was late 2010, early 2011.
Is it really that old?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
This thing was absolutely heralded by the motoring press.
Beautiful.
Because of the styling, like all this stuff in here, obviously air intake, you think, oh, it's just for styling. It does actually have a purpose.
Yeah.
It sucks the front end down, downforce. Big old brakes, of course. Anthracite colour wheels. Obviously flappy paddle gearbox. I've never driven a 458. I've driven a 360 on a track day before.
Yeah.
But no, I really like this.
I generally thought it was a newer model. It really has, the styling has lasted.
The newer model of this is the 488.
I'm not a Fezzer fan. I'm not a fan, I don't really know them, so.
But the 488 really doesn't diverge that much in style to this. It's quite similar. But before we move on, give a bit more attention to the Honda VTEC engine, so all that power, 9,000 RPM and all that. But as I say, you can't really fault a Honda. Hondas are really reliable cars. They're always up there in the surveys for reliability. You just can't fault them. They're really nice cars.
I mean, personally for me, what Jake just said about how good Hondas are is true, because they are reliable, they're cheap to run. I don't particularly like their styling that much, that's my only thing, but I'm not knocking them. When people ask me what sort of car should I buy, I always say look at Hondas, definitely.
Yeah, but the
Civic,
thing...
the Jazz.
The thing with today's event, we wanted to try and get a bit of variety down, and I think we've definitely got that with my Ferrari, Honda, sort of says it all really.
C5.
A C5, yeah. But what I like about this is the fact that it can bring a family down to an event like this and basically it can do everything you would ever want it or need it to do.
Yeah.
This is an Audi SQ5. It's a V6 turbo diesel, I believe it is. Bought specifically so the owner of this car could actually tow quite a large caravan, certainly something bigger than Trixie down there. Really good vehicle this, perfect for transporting a dog around in. The owner of this has also got a golden retriever, which you'll probably see around in the video at some point. But again, perfect practical transport, and again, great for towing the caravan. The owner of this car lives not too far away from the museum. Obviously I'm not going to say exactly where for security reasons for them. But they went all the way up to Aberdeen just to get this car, just to bring it back. So a bit of a road trip for them. Brand new. but they got some sort of deal up in a dealership in Scotland, so they flew up and came back the next day with it. Why not? Great little car, but as I say, powerful. But again, something a little bit different.
It's very different.
Toyota Gr Yaris, basically a rally car for the road, GR4. Naturally, they've got their private plate for this car, which I much approve of. I think that really works for this car. But yeah, four-wheel drive, 18-inch, quite slick tyres, obviously not fully because of road legal stuff that you need to obviously adhere to. Carbon fibre style of roof. I think that is possibly genuine carbon fibre. Do you know?
I think they are.
Yeah, I think it is genuine carbon fibre on these, but don't really know a huge amount of these.
I don't.
I do like them. They were massively heralded by the motoring press. Obviously, I'm not necessarily motoring press. This essentially is a homologation special, yeah. Previously on the channel, we featured a Vauxhall Chevette HSR, which was a homologation special for the Chevette to go rallying back in the late 70s, early 80s, depending on which series it was in. This is essentially a 2021 Toyota version. It's quite fun though.
Yeah.
Again, another car I'd like to give a go at some point.
Yeah.
So this is a Mini Clubman Untold edition. It belongs to a good friend of the channel, Driving with Nico. He's got his own channel. He is somebody who does the festive Mini. If you've watched the Late Break show, you'll have seen him racing Johnny with his pink Mini, which is like a little, I guess, kids ride on Mini, which he's upgraded with massive amounts of electric stuff, which has made it quicker. It does about 32 miles an hour. Anyway, he raced Johnny Smith there with his Moto Compo. Yeah, first of the Untold editions ever sold in the UK, I believe, this particular one. It's a nice colour scheme to it. I like the stripes on top. I think that's something that's specific to the Untold edition. The wheels, again, very, very striking, as Carlos has actually said. But I like it.
I like it as well.
I like the Clubman. I think it's a nice looking car anyway. It's based on the, I think, BMW 2 Series platform, this generation of Clubman. But it still keeps the typical barn doors in the back. Next to Driving with Nico's Mini Untold, lovely little Sunbeam Alpine. Love these things, the styling is just absolutely timeless. Loads of room in the back for extra luggage. Great steering wheel, love these. Chrome wipers as well, really adds to it. Then the Nissan 100 NX is owned by Amber, driven for 24/7, she's here as well. Again, I really like the roof, the panels that pop out. It's a glass roof anyway, so it's a bit sunroofy, automatic, but generally a really nice example of it. Sure, it has a few little rough edges here and there, but it's a work in progress. And again, prefer to see a work in progress here, or something that's at least road legal, than hide away in a garage. Toyota MR2, little mid-engine sports car from Toyota, variable valve timing engine, 16 valve. These cars were incredibly popular back in the day. Just look at that though. I've lost my cameraman anyway, he's over there chatting to someone, but that's what today's all about. It's all about being social. On the other end of the 100 NX scale, you've got this one, a fairly recent acquisition by the owner. Someone that has, I guess, briefly featured on the channel in the past, as he's also been to Lloyd Vehicle Consulting Socials. He's the one that owns the 240Z that Joseph actually managed to review not too long ago. But yes, he's only owned this car for about 3 weeks, so it's a really nice condition car. I like the wheel colour, I like the wheels, they really suit it as well. And that's it, obviously, with the roof in. It's just a gorgeous thing. I must get in contact with him and actually organise a review of some of his cars in the future. Also, just because he's just a sound person to chat to, he knows his stuff. Another Toyota MR2, this time Mark II generation, I believe this one is. Bucket seats, racing harness. Oh, has it got a roll cage? Yes, it does in the back. It's quite nice. Again, mid-engine. You can't change perfection with these cars. I actually got quite a lot of boot space in this. Yeah, I really like the colour on it as well. Tiny short shifter gear stick. And the wheels, split rims. I'm not sure the colour on this car is standard, but almost certainly a very, very nice looking car. But next to it, something very different, and obviously showing support for the Army Flying Museum with the Army Flying Museum Bear, which I also have a smaller one in the Mini. Peugeot E208, belongs to my friend Chris, who's done the, well, not just done the, but he's done a wide range of graphics for me. He's done the banner for today's party, the stickers as well. So massive thanks to him, because otherwise we wouldn't have things like that at the party. Really nice car though, it's a GT line I think this one is. But yeah, very quick car. Really like the styling of these particular Peugeots. Peugeot full LED lights as well. Saber-toothed look. But yeah, essentially a working computer. I think this is the only fully electric vehicle here, apart from the C5, but obviously that doesn't have any motor or anything in it. Also the 208 Car of the Year 2020. Also next to that, got a review of the owner of this car's previous car coming up on the channel at some point very soon. You may have seen it on social media, Vauxhall Astra Estate from 2007. This is his latest car, which I'm sure we'll have a review on it at some point in the next few months. Mini Countryman, 2011 reg. It's a Mini 1, so I think that's lower end of the scale. But again, I like this car. I like it a lot. I'm falling for its charms. Roof rails, practical, sizable, and also quite comfortable and economical as well. So there's a few people in the Mini scene who like to keep the newer Minis and the old classic Minis separate, but I don't think that should be the case personally, because many people who own the modern Minis are fans of the older ones, and they maybe just can't necessarily afford to have a second car, or they don't want a classic car that, like mine today, has just broken for no apparent reason at this point and is currently down there being worked on. But this will be newer, reliable, what's not to like. The stuffy little Honda, I can't remember the model of this one, I must go and check it out. CRZ, there we go, I thought it was something like that, off the top of my head. Many of Honda's models have CR like that one over there, CRV. Yeah, I actually considered getting one of these at one point. I believe it's a hybrid engine, 1.5 I want to say. It was a while ago I last looked at one. Just have a look at that interior. I think it was styled or had inspiration from the Honda Insight, which was very popular back in its day. It was a very quirky looking thing. This is just a more modern version of that, should we say. Very nice though, I like the styling of it. Ford Mondeo. This actually belongs to Tom Kent Cars 98 as he used to be. He's actually Golf Abarth now. He owns the Abarth that I reviewed on the channel earlier this year. This is his dad's car because the Abarth, like my Mini, is also currently broken for one or two reasons. But it is still being represented here by the Mini version, which is very, very cute. Look at that. It'd be perfect. If I had a child, I'd be like, hey, do you want to have a go on that? But he's got a nice little sheet on here showing all the different variations of the Mondeo through the years. Representing fuel power on this one. Also the Mondeo does have a sticker on the other side. Let's have a quick look. There it is. And a fuel power party as well, which is nice. Little baby Yoda in that. Ford. Oh, I've just noticed that. Ford Baymax instead of a B-Max. I like that. I believe this one is also owned by Tom's. I think it's Tom's mum's car and that's his dad's car. So clearly a bit of a Ford family apart from Tom, who's straight away with the Abarth. But I like all the Baymaxes and sort of Disney references in there. That's quite cute. Oh, I've just noticed Tom's also got the sticker on the Mini ride-on Abarth. What a lad. There goes a Mini. The Cooper Mark II. Cooper S even, sorry. That one's been very popular here, had a lot of attention. Next to the Forza we have quite a long line of Abarths and Fiat 500s. This one seems to have come from the Ukraine, which of course is a very heavy topic at the minute, especially in world news. Left-hand drive. Nice example, it's 595. I don't think I've ever seen a Ukrainian number plate before, so that's a new one on me. Car belongs to Amber's parents. There's a little blue Abarth. I like the writing down there. That's a neat little touch. It's quite a popular one. The Abarth Mafia. There's plenty of minions in there, a bit of a theme going on with this. Little evil minion. (2018) Abarth as well. Forge Motorsport. Mini Cooper, I think it is. Number 37 Rally, obviously a massive reference back to Paddy Hopkirk. 2014 Abarth 500, or Fiat 500 with a pink badge, very glittery as well. As I mentioned before with my 500 review when I looked at Genevieve's, the 500 is an incredibly customizable vehicle. It's a bit like the MG3, the Mini. They're incredibly popular vehicles for people to make their own. So I like that this one has been decorated and modified in its own way. Abarth 500C by the looks of it, convertible. Love the sunroof on these. That's in the colour of the original Abarth, so I can't remember the name of it, unfortunately. And an Abarth 500 built for racing by the looks of it. Massively modified, cars race car. Little Italian stripe or tricolore on there. Have a look in this. That's obviously massively modified. It amazes me just how much smaller than the Panda the access is to the bonnet. Next to that, a Subaru Wrx STI. Fairly new one. By comparison to many of the older saloon-based ones, this is a bit of a hatchback, which I know upset a lot of fans of Subaru at the time. So it's quite different, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it personally. Things I do like the little yellow details in there, the updated and modified badging, the bonnet scoop. It's just all little details that add up. This car I've definitely seen before at Castle Combe. It's a Mini Phoenix. So it's got the front end from a Mini Clubman. I think it's all fiberglass actually. It's got a bit of a rat type look. Look at that, everywhere you look there's always something else that you've missed. Like all the newspaper style on the dashboard or comic books. All the little Hot Wheels, the cup holder. I've actually got one similar to that at home. The skateboard wheels for the window winder. Roof rack with a shovel on it. Classic Minis never die, they just get faster, and that is very true, unlike mine at the minute. Extra Edge Mini Cooper S. Obviously a Cooper Works, or not Cooper Works, no. Sports Pack, that's the word. Yeah, really like these as well. Did want the Sports Pack at one point in my life, but I'm quite happy with mine at the end of the day. We've also got this, Rover Mini 2000 called Jack. Faded paintwork, definitely featured this car on the channel before. But again, nothing wrong with the faded paintwork. It makes it very distinctive compared to many other cars which are often shiny, new, pristine. I like that little sticker, makes me happy. Been to Caffeine and Machine, IMM 2019 as well. Massive event here in the UK for the Minis that year. Unfortunately it rained all weekend, but you can't control the weather, but today we've got nice weather. Yellow Mini as well, more modern one. I think it's a Cooper spec, this one, Mini Addict 84, 2003, so still fairly early on in the new Mini production. Modified wheels add something to it, the twin exit centre exhaust. I like the little knitted Mini, I want one of those for my car. Mini in the bay, been to plenty of events. Mini Red Hot, I know this has only just been MOT'd in the last week. Mini fixed up, ready actually to come to this event and to the Isle of Wight, which is, as of this point, next weekend. So, for me, the pressure is on to get Mini working again. Let's have a look at that. Lovely dashboard. But yes, this car had significant work done to it. Sills, a few panels replacing, floors as well. But no, it's nice to see it here. This car belongs to yet another YouTuber, Minimat TV, Project Bumble. I think pulled out of a hedge or a barn or something like that, if memory serves correctly. It's been a while since I've seen a Project Bumble video, I'll have to admit, but I do watch Minimat TV's channel as and when the videos go live. Also went to IMM. Yeah, little orange Mini, best colour for a Mini. I think it's still 1000cc, because I know people can often put badges on and it's not necessarily true, but I think this is still genuinely a 1000cc, but maybe with some upgrades. Modern Mini Cooper S 5-door with little stripes down the bottom. They're attempting to start Mini, she's not playing ball. Stripe, I like it. Again, personalisation really appeals to me. Fiat Doblo van, quite similar to the Citroen Berlingo and Peugeot Partner variants. I think there were plenty of these around at the time when it was new. You can see this vehicle is clearly used, but that's fine, that's exactly what the vehicle's made to do. It's meant to go around every single day doing its job. This is 54 reg. Doblo is a multi-jet, so obviously diesel engine. I do have a soft spot for van vehicles. This one's a Volvo 480 E5. It's been ages since I've seen these. Like them, they've got pop-up headlights. 4 seats as well, which is surprising. I thought it was 5, but evidently not. A lot of little switches here and there, but I do like it. I have a soft spot for Volvos. I know Genevieve really does. I know she's a bit busy at the minute on the stall. But I think these things are really very cool looking cars. Now on to the final 3 cars which turned up in convoy and have just parked up here. Honda Civic Type R. I think Amber of Dream 24/7, she's actually just bought one of these in black, which she's just revealed, so it's quite nice for her to see one of these here as well. A Yaris Gr MN, or a Gr, as they're also quite well known. Especially like the Gr Yaris over there, but a little bit more tame I suppose, but still a heap of fun I would perfectly imagine. Nice little spoiler on it, diffuser, and finally MX-5. These cars are incredibly popular little cars to modify. The engines are endlessly tunable, rear wheel drive as well. I think on this particular generation of MX-5, the Mark II I think was front wheel drive. Obviously wide arches on it, lovely little roof. It's nice, 1.8 IS. I don't know what the IS stands for, injection I'd imagine, but I don't quite know what else. But yeah, this is the fuel power party, and I think one of the things that's been most impressive to me personally is not so much the turnout, although that is generally impressive and I'm quite staggered by just how many cars have turned up today, but also the variety. We've got Volvos, we've got Fiats, we've got Minis and Abarths respectively, we've got Austins, we've got Dacias, a Yugo, Citroen, Hondas, Audis, Toyotas, you name it. We've got pretty much everything a guy could ever want here. It's pretty good. And there's Carlos, he's just turned up as well.
Hi.
So yeah, it's been a bit of an effort putting this on.
Very well, you two did very well.
But 100% worth it. So thank you for joining us for this video, and thank you also if you actually managed to come along to this today. And it's been great chatting to many of you here. And just as a glider goes over us, that's quite impressive. That's all rounds off our video here at the Army Fly Museum for the Fuel Power Party 2022. So thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, comment down below, let me know which is your favourite car here at the show today, or bike, or thing, because there's quite a lot here. Yep. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Anyway, I've been Jake, thanks for watching, really appreciate the views, and obviously everyone here. See you in the next one. Until then, farewell.